My name is General Daniel, a student of Mount Zion Mission Center. We are dealing with the subject of the book of Revelation, which we are dealing with the subject matter on the route by which the revelation is conveyed and the summarized conclusion of the entire book of Revelation. That's the main point, the main character of the book of Revelation we are dealing with. And so we touch on Revelation chapter 1 verse to 3, which is the summary, and then Revelation 1 chapter 1 verse 1 to 8 is the conclusion. So the summary and the conclusion are in Revelation chapter 1 verse to 8, which conclude the whole book of Revelation. So when we talk of chapter 1 to 3, chapter 1 to 8, it talks about the summary and the conclusion of the book. So verse 9 is the beginning of the event. Chapter 1 verse 9 is the beginning of the event of Revelation, what took place. So when we have other books that we talk of the event, and then the event are the rebellion, destruction, and then salvation. So in the book of Isaiah, the first part is Isaiah chapter 1 to 2 to 4, where the summary and the conclusion. Jeremiah chapter 1 was the summary and conclusion. Ezekiel 1, 2, and 3, summary and conclusion. Daniel 1, 2, summary and conclusion. Revelation, which is 22 books, 1 to 8, and then 1 to 3. And then the 66 books of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, 1, 2 to 4, is the summary and the conclusion, which talks about rebellion, destruction, and salvation. So, the conveyor, who conveys the book of Revelation? Who is the conveyor? One, the revelation of Jesus Christ. So it was talking about revelation of Jesus Christ. So the conveyor was Jesus, who received and then give it to the angel to be given to John. And when John received, now John is no more, Apostle John is no more, so the new John received the revelation. So the conveyor is Jesus Christ, and then he opens and then shows it. So it fulfills the close words and shows the reality of revelation. There are types of revelation, as we studied in the previous verses. Vision revelation, which recalls the prophecy. Reality revelation testify the fulfillment of the revelation. And so in the types of revelation, we have vision, which is parables, Isaiah chapter 1 parables, and then we have reality revelation, which is John chapter 16 verse 25, talks about the plainness. So I will speak to you in the plain language. And when times come, what is the time? Times of fulfillment, when the new John OV receive the fulfillment and then testify the reality of the prophecy. So now we have the tree of life in the book of Genesis, which talks about the person with the word of life, and that person in vision or prophecy was a tree of life, pastor with the word of life. And who was that promised pastor? Jesus Christ. In reality, is a tree of life, or the pastor with the word of life was talking about. And then belief and salvation. And then here you believe and then you get salvation, which is a reality. So we move on to the advocate speaking to us plainly, and then it is the new John. The root of revelation which the root in which revelation is conveyed through another advocate, Jesus, God to Jesus, to the angel, the spirit, and then to new John. And then when we read of Revelation chapter 10 verse 11, he received a scroll, which is all we received a scroll. And then when he received, he delivered a message to the servant, which is the 12th tribe, 144,000 people, the first fruit. And then the great multitude in the white robe, which is the first fruit, which is Revelation chapter 7 verse 1 to 3 to 4. Revelation 7:9 talks about those great multitude. And then only New John knows 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 the true meaning of revelation, because he's the person who receive and testify the fulfillment. And then if you want to know revelation, you must encounter New John. And if you want the salvation, you must encounter New John. So without encounter, why do you have to encounter? Because he have the revealed word. He had a reality to what to communicate to you, so that you can believe in the fulfillment. And then believing in the fulfillment, you have eternal life and then salvation. What must soon take place? We talk of what must soon take place, the entire event of the book of Revelation. That's the three mysteries must soon take place. It's the seven stars plus the seven golden lampstand, beast with seven heads, 10 horns, and the seventh trumpet, which is Revelation chapter 1 verse 20, Revelation 17:7, Revelation 10:9. It talks about betrayal, destroyer, and then salvation. And we study that whenever there is betrayal or rebellion and destruction, there's always salvation. So when people rebel and then the destroyer comes in, there must be a salvation. Who is the salvation here? As a New John, who is testifying the reality of the prophecy and the fulfillment that he received. So the first war that was recorded in the book of Revelation, and we have the second war. The war is between God and Satan, Matthew 24 verse 17, and the Revelation 13 is the first war, Revelation 12 the second war. And then we came to plagues, three plagues, which is the judgment, seven seals, and the seven trumpets, and then seven bowls. So the seven seals are the betrayers, the seven trumpets are betrayers, and then seven bowls are betrayers and destroyers. Revelation chapter 8 verse 9 is the same event that happened in Revelation chapter 13. And then we talk of after these things, after these were happening in the book of Revelation for 6 times, and we are able to know the order of the event. After this helps us, after this, which recorded in the book of Revelation, help us to know the order of the event. So what was the event? After this, Revelation chapter 4 verse 1, sending the letters to the seven messengers. Revelation chapter 7 verse 1, after the judgment of the chosen people who betrayed, that their sins. And then Revelation 7:9, after the gathering of the sealed 144,000 people who were sealed. These are the, and the Revelation 15 verse 5, after the victorious one are gathered by the sea of glass. And the Revelation 18 verse 1, after the judgment of the great prostitute. And the Revelation 19 verse 1, after the judgment of Babylon. These were the 6 things recorded in the book of Revelation. We call it after this. And this happened for us to know the order of events which took place in the book of Revelation, and also the fulfillment. And then we tackle what must soon take place. Must mean something that have to happen 100% perfect. It will happen or be fulfilled. Isaiah 14 verse 24. And then soon is speed. Is when it starts to fulfill. It will finish quickly. So everything that God said will be fulfilled 100%, and it comes with speed and it is fulfilled quickly. So how is Revelation written? Revelation is written in 5 W's and 1 H. Who wrote it? John. Who wrote it? That's the Apostle John. That's the prophecy fulfillment in the New John. When 2,000 years ago, fulfillment, second coming. Where? Island of Patmos. Fulfilled in Tabernacle of Temple, which is the holy place. And then what took place? Prophecy. What's the fulfillment? Aldeus. And then how? Vision. And then now reality. Where? Why? To believe. John 14:29. When you believe, salvation and eternal life. So blessed is the one. And then we move to topic 4, which is blessed the one, those who read and then see the words of the revelation in their hearts and minds. And there will be ones whose sins will be forgiven and get salvation, or get the blessing, which is the eternal life. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 10 to 12 state emphatically that those who have the ways, who take to heart the book of Revelation, are those who are going to receive eternal life. So we must make sure that we take to heart whatever is written in the book of Revelation, as New John reveals or show us the reality and the fulfillment of what took place and what is happening. So we must take to heart. And we don't need to have to take it, we must always, we must also believe in what believe in the fulfillment, because there are two things in the Bible, according to Romans 10:17, that you believe, you have first faith and the second faith. You believe in the prophecy and you believe in the fulfillment. So the fulfillment is here and it's in Mount Zion, and OV, New John, is testifying to the reality. So you must believe in that, and then you have eternal life. Thank you.